having purpose in what you do is the most important thing. That it is a long game and not a short game. All right. If you look at the most successful content creators, all right, we're not talking about the viral one of videos from the girls you see on TikTok. All right. Because as fast as they go up, they go right back down. I mean, you have people, I have people that I know that have millions of views on one video and 200 views on the rest. All right. So what you want to do is understand that content creation, like the hack, is understanding that this is a long game.
I'm Junaid Ahmed, host of Hacks and Hobbies podcast and a digital presence advisor at Humble Zone. This episode is brought to you by Home Studio Mastery. I launched a consultation and course program to help podcasters and course creators to create a space in their homes that'll reduce the friction of creating content and appearing their best when showing up on camera. The pandemic gave us a lot of issues, but this one is here to stay. We're now so much closer to our audience thanks to video becoming more popular and affordable. I help guide folks who want to create Hollywood-worthy studios to not only capture great content, but also build more confidence, more authority, and be more comfortable in front of the camera. If I can do it, you can too. And with my help, you can do it faster. So if you'd like to learn more, visit homestudiomastery.com and how you too can create a home studio that brings out your personality, professionalism, and possibilities. Thank you for tuning in to Hacks and Hobbies with your host, Junaid. We're visited by our amazing guests coming from all walks of life. Want to learn their story, their struggles, and their journey on how they got to where they are today. So stick around. Today we get to speak with DJ Strick. With over 20 years of experience in media production and community-based leadership, Stephen Strickland, also known as Strick, is a fresh voice in the streaming world. For 13 years, he was the host of the widely popular 95.7 Gospel Jamz FM, a weekly program that aired on radio in Birmingham, Alabama. While there, he established a following that he now reaches virtually. Currently, he's the assistant pastor and media director for New Rising Star Church. He's also the host of Strick City Live, a 1-hour weekly lifestyle show on Thursday nights. In addition, he is the producer of the syndicated jazz radio program, Block Party Radio, which airs in over 20 markets. Let's jump into this conversation as we learn the origins of DJ Strick. DJ Strick, how you doing today?
Hey man, I am awesome. How are you?
I'm doing amazing, and thank you so much for jumping on and doing this podcast episode with me. It's been really awesome watching you guys grow with the stream live.
The stream show, yes sir.
The stream show, right? The stream show, the live stream show. It's amazing what you guys have done, the people that you brought, and also given me the opportunity and come speak on that show. So thank you again.
You did a great job.
Coming, man. Thank you, man.
Hey, thanks for the invite, number one. Don't get an opportunity. I'm creating so much. I don't get an opportunity to be on a lot of shows. So when you made the invite, I looked at my calendar and this day just really worked for me. So it's cool to be here. Awesome.
So let's dig right into DJ Strick. So DJ, is that your name? Like, does it stand for something? Do you mind? Do you care to share?
Yeah, I don't mind sharing at all. So I actually am a DJ.
All right. Okay. You're the DJ.
Okay. It's really that simple. So my media experience comes from being a radio DJ for about 15 years.
Wow.
So here in my market in Birmingham, Alabama, I was on the radio and I actually traveled and did shows for people, the whole nine. Mm-hmm. And that's where the DJ comes from. So as has already built my social media presence off being DJ Strick from the radio, I wanted to be sure to keep that audience. So I never really changed it, even when I kind of stopped. So I'm not
Got it.
really one of those music mixing DJs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of the host, radio show host DJ.
Got it.
So that's what I do more than anything.
Nice. So DJ Strick is your name.
Right. I mean, of course, it's a
Strictly
stage
speaking.
name. It's a
That's a
stage
stage
name.
name, right?
My
Right.
real name is Stephen Strickland. So that's
Okay.
where the Strick comes from.
Gotcha.
Everybody in my family that's a Strickland males, the nickname is Strick. So DJ Strick, that's where it comes from.
I love it. So Stephen Strickland is
Exactly.
the name of the gentleman. This is the first time, guys. This is the first time I've known DJ Strick, that I'm discovering the
My
name.
real name. There you go.
The real
there you go.
Awesome.
Everyone needs an alias. I just love
know.
it. I love it.
I know. It is awesome. People call me Super J because, that's a screen name that I've had forever as well. And if you go look for me, just look up Super Junaid and, you'll find me, because there's a lot of people with my name combination.
Got you.
But there's only one Super.
Junaid. I get it. That's smart. You got to stand out some way, right?
That's right.
And for me, my title DJ kind of opens the door for a lot of the media work I do, content stuff. So I promise you, it's my belief, if I was Stephen Strickland, I would not be on the show today right now.
That's right. That is. You are very accurate in that, because when you present yourself as, hey, this is my public persona, this is what I do, it's in my name, people like, okay, what's up.
Exactly.
We're not gonna have to worry about tech when we're talking to you.
Right. And so, it kind of leads into it, and everybody.
It does.
And when you hear DJ or someone name DJ something, you say, hey, I was on the radio, or automatically people would know, hey, this guy either mixes or he did some radio work or knows a lot about music. And the DJ always brings the fun. Like, you go to parties and you have a great DJ, you have a great time. So even that, for me, when people think of me, they think of their favorite DJ, and it's a connecting point. It's a connecting point for me.
It is.
That's positive more than anything else.
I really like that because, we set up studios. Like, you got a really nice studio setup. I've got a nice studio setup. And one thing that I teach people is that you got to personalize your studio so that people connect with you on a deeper level. And you're already doing that with your name.
Right.
So it's like, mind blown.
And if I showed you everything in my studio now, it's kind of me, but it's more of my wife. So my wife is a musician. She's a jazz flutist. And what you see around some of my just regular staging in the background is her plaques. So she's got a couple of #1 Billboard songs, and we have them in the back here. But it kind of blends with me being DJ Strick, because you go on a lot of radio stations, you're going to see plaques all over the wall as well. So it's kind of the same thing.
Kind of like blend. All right, man. I love that. So take us back to when you were a DJ. How'd you get into that biz? And let's walk us through the origin story of DJ.
That is a really good question, and it's extremely unique the way I got into it. Number one, it's kind of odd. It's not the same way everybody else would kind of get into doing DJ work. I was actually a friend and a church member to an accountant to the radio station. I was doing youth ministry, and at the time, I was so into the music that people automatically just loved what I was doing and liked the music that I was presenting in front of the youth. All right. So my DJ experience is all from a Christian youth perspective. Okay. It's a whole genre of music that's built around Christian youth. And one day the local radio station was looking to do something on a Sunday morning that was geared that way, because they were a station that a secular station focused on youth. So on Sunday mornings, they wanted to kind of continue that. So never had any experience. I'm gifted to speak and communicate. I had the music. So to be honest with you, it was a God thing that led me that direction. And I had to learn on the job.
Yeah.
So I had some great assistant bosses that I was given to them. Like, you guys make him good. And they coached me up, and I did that for 15 years, along
Wow.
with establishing connections with local and national artists in that field. And we just started doing little tours in my city, exposing the youth to these artists so they can feel and touch them and doing concerts. So people could see me, they can hear me on the radio, but then on the
Yeah.
weekends, they can see me at one of their local venues. And it was really cool.
That's so cool. I was watching this one. What do you call it? It was a cool. Let me try to think. It was the behind the actor kind of interview
Hmm.
with this gentleman who retired from Saturday. He had a late night show. I'm trying to remember his name. Gosh,
He was
he
being interviewed, or he was the one that was
he was
interviewing?
being interviewed because after he had retired, he's being interviewed, and the one thing that he mentioned was he really wanted to be in the radio and he wanted to host radio,
Right.
and he was given an opportunity, and this was down in Florida, and in Florida there was a lot of radio stations and people would come in and go all the time. So now he had the opportunity, and the producer was like, okay, you're up next, or you got to go and start the thing at 9 a.m.
Right.
And he turns on the mic, he's trying to say something, and then turns the music back on because he doesn't know what to say.
Right.
And then his like 5 minutes in, and the producer comes in, he's like, we are a radio show. It's a communication industry. You got to communicate. You got to tell people what's going on, who you are. And it was Larry King.
Got you.
And he goes, hi guys, my name is Larry King. This is the first time I'm doing this, and I don't know how it's going to go. So bear with me.
Wow.
Right. So he started with that, his very first show, and he just kept going. And what's beautiful about that story is that no matter what it is, if you stick with it, you can go places.
I agree. Because listen, if I stopped, this is what happened to me. I would be so nervous that from a talent level or a skill level that I wasn't good, that you could hear it. And I just had to come to the realization that if I didn't really do much to get there, if they wanted to let me go, they can. Right. And more importantly, I felt like God opened that door for me. And if he wanted me to be out of there, he would. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me be confident that this is my seat. This
Yeah.
is my microphone. This is the show. The show had blossomed to be Strick City. Like, it was my name, all me. So why not just walk into it? So it really took me about 2.5 years to find my voice. I'm being honest, 2.5 years to find my voice. Now, remember, I said I did it for 15 years.
Yeah.
So the rest of that time, I'm telling you, I was walking with my chest out. I knew what I was doing, had a chance to meet the highest and the biggest artists in the genre of gospel music, tour, be on stages, some huge stages. I've done all I wanted to do in that arena. I mean, I did it all.
Yeah.
And even introduced a new genre of music to people that had never heard it. So, I feel confident in what I was doing and what I did during that time. And people knew it, and they still know it. I'm still like very popular in the city that I'm in based off of what I did on the radio. So,
Man, that's really amazing. So during that first 2 years, let's dig into that, because I really like to hear, okay, what struggles you face, what failures were you overcoming, because that's the kind of stuff everybody faces
right.
all the friggin' time. And you're like, and we look up to people. I'm like, okay, how did they do it? So that's one thing that I love to go into. So if you don't mind, first year, how to go, what kind of things were you facing? And I know you had music background from before that, right?
Right.
Now you're on the radio. So let's
So
dig in a little bit.
it was all, the show was mine, of course. They didn't like the radio station didn't even have the music. It was all my music. So I'm bringing in music, buying music to play, getting music from indie artists and making connections, and people are finding out that this is a viable place to be heard. First year, none of that, So it goes so far back. We used to have, we were playing CDs at the time, and they had to be in these cases. So you take the CDs out, you put them in a case, and then you put the case inside of this machine. It was just a regular CD player, but inside of that case, it just made sure it didn't skip a jump. It was just a more secure way to play because you're playing it over the airwaves. That being said, learning how to do that, figuring out what song to play next, and also knowing how to get in and out of what we call a break. So I'm going from one song to the next. So at one time there's a break, and it's a automated break. So I can press a button. You're listening to 95.7 Jams with DJ Strick, and it goes to the next song. That's automated in the system. I've already recorded it, and it's there. All right. And we may have we would have a radio guy, or what we call a voice guy, that did all of the imaging. We actually called it imaging for the station.
Call it imaging.
So it was radio, but he would do the imaging. So it's one voice, and he does the whole show. So when you listen to the radio, it kind of has some continuity to it, even if a DJ comes and do a radio break or anything else. That being said, I would literally have to stop what I was doing 2 minutes. Like if the song is 5 minutes long or 4 minutes long, 2 minutes of that song plays, and I stopped everybody in the studio, and I am waiting 2 minutes, figuring out what I'm going to say, and watching the clock. And I was so nervous that I would mess up. Like everybody, if anybody was in the studio visiting with me and hanging out, everybody had to be quiet. I had to figure out what I'm going to do. And I would be so nervous. And I'm trying my best to remember, because, of course, you don't ever remember the negative things and the mess ups that you would do. You would try to get that out of your mind. And most times I will tell people this. This is what helped me during figuring out how to get over that hump. You got to know how people listen or how people view. Our minds are so powerful that even, Janae, even if I mispronounce a word, you would hear it pronounced the right way.
Yes.
All right. So you have to know that even if you make mistakes, and this is where the professionalism comes in. If I made a mistake, mispronounced a word, or jumbled something up, if I have to stop and say, you know what, wait a minute, I didn't say that right. And you do it with a smile, as you can tell, even as I smiled, my voice was different, because you could tell I was smiling when I was talking. It is really, those things could be heard, and when people hear it, they feel the difference. They hear the difference, but and once I learned those nuances, all right, it made my show better. But the first year, I didn't know any of that.
Right.
I didn't know any of that, and it was nerve-wracking until I did. So what did I do to get better? If I was driving in my car, at the time we had what we call air checks. Air checks was basically every time you went on air, a system would record it. You can take that recording and then listen to it. So basically, the program directors or any kind of management team at the radio station would have a time to meet with the DJs and listen to their air checks and critique them. Hey, that was good. This was bad. And you need to work on this and do that kind of stuff. It was
feedback.
Feedback, and which you need it. It's a performance-based job.
Absolutely, 100%.
And it's a skill, like it's a talent that you have to have. So that being said, I would personally listen to it. All right, personally listen to it, because I wanted to critique myself. I was my worst critic. So listening to it all the time. And then once I listened to it, I would turn the radio on or turn music on in my car and practice and rehearse getting in and out of what we call breaks. All right, just rehearse, getting in and out. Song is ending. Hey, everybody, this is DJ Strick, man. Thank you for listening. That was whoever it was on the radio right there. And now
Yeah.
coming up, this is my song. This song is the #1 song in the nation right now. Coming up, Mary, Mary in Shackles. And then I would just play it. As you can tell, there's a cadence, there's a rhythm to it. And, you know, I've done it so long, I can just, boom, go right
get
into
back into it. Yeah.
It was funny, Janae. I went to the radio station for a promotion that I was doing for my content creation company. We were doing something in the city to give back. And I went to the radio station, and I have been doing content creation and streaming so much where we had to fill so much time because it's not music, it's just us talking.
Us talking, yeah, exactly.
That I went to the radio station and I'm just talking and talking and talking, and they like sound bites. You know, if they ask you a question, you got to be able to answer that question within really 10 to 20 seconds and not a whole minute. I remembered that moment and says, man, I've been a streamer so long, I forgot how radio works.
Wow. No, you're absolutely right. You know, you do enough practice, you knew enough reps, you're right into it, and you're right. You know, it's a different art to be a radio, to be somebody who's playing music, to be versus somebody who's a live streamer and entertaining and interviewing. It does take an art. It's an art form. Yeah.
And you have to figure it out for whatever genre that you are working with. You have to know yourself. Like, I need to be, my show and my audience likes this. So let me practice and rehearse this. Even if, you know, we talk about this with content creation all the time.
Yeah.
You know, like if you got to go where the analytics shows this is what your audience is looking for. Now, if you're one of those kind of people, forget what my audience is saying, I want to do this, then be fine in doing what you want to do and know that until the algorithm finds you, that audience is going to be a slow growth.
Yeah.
But when you find that people are picking up on certain things, you have to double down, even if it's not what you automatically like, unless that's not what you want to do. You know, you want to be open. It depends on what kind of content creator you are. I'm a lifestyle guy. Guess what? It's a long road for me. You know, your lifestyle type of creator that's centered around their personality, unless they have a big audience coming into it, it takes time to grow with that. And guess what? I'm here for the time. I really like doing what I do.
Yeah.
And so I'm not automatically saying, well, I got to have this. I got to have this metric or that metric. You know what? I want to be able to interview people I like to interview. And I want to be able to talk about things that I want to talk about.
Right.
And eventually my audience will find me.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's the most authentic way, right? You're being who you are. You're creating the content that you love. You're telling the people what you're about. You know, they start to know DJ Strick. They know what DJ Strick likes, what he eats, you know, all those kind of things. Because then, like, oh, I like that cheeseburger too. I'm gonna go get, you know, get the big boy burger or whatever. And
that's when you have them. To be honest with you, with your audience, when they do something that you do, when they buy products that you have, when they listen to you, that is where you get them. And I know we said later we'll talk about the 3 things, but you know, I just think that anytime you get an audience that's captive and listens to you, and they will be willing to do some of the things that you do, even if it's down to the same burger that you would eat, that's a big deal.
It is, absolutely, 100%. So we've been talking about your origin story. What's keeping you motivated to keep doing this kind of things, right? You want to be yourself. You want to create the content that you are passionate about. And it's been really amazing learning and finding those parallels between what you're doing and what I do, you know, what I love to do. And it's just fascinating.
Got you.
Fascinating.
Well, think about, I teach a lot of leadership, okay? And one of the things I teach in leadership is vision, or purpose, vision, and missions. All right, like having one personally, having purpose in your life, having a vision for that purpose, and then having a mission to be able to fulfill whatever that purpose is.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I like helping people. period.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to content creation, yes, I do have a outlet to create, which I think for me, I needed a outlet to create. Strick City Live is that outlet
Yeah.
to create. All right. People
Mm.
saw Strick City Live. How are you doing all of that? And I was in actually started with a community figuring out how to look the best online.
Yeah.
And once I've learned so much, everybody that then saw what I was doing, how are you doing that? So now I want to help you. The numbers get to be too large to do it one at a time. Let's help people on a major scale. So let's teach
Mm.
it. Let's do some
Yeah.
streams on teaching people how to live stream. And that's my niche. I really decided that the live stream was the part that I wanted to do because I felt like it was the area of the most growth as we go
Mm-hmm.
further. All right. So as
Yeah.
we grow and as times go on, like learning how to live stream for businesses and individuals that want to be visible online is just the way to go.
Absolutely.
So
100%.
helping people is my motivation. All right. Telling
Mm-hmm.
you, I'm not a dogmatic type leader. I'm not going to tell you you need to buy this. You got to
Right.
do it this way. All of that. What I want to do is to get people to understand the simple part of what we do in streaming. All right.
Yeah.
Let's just start with the basics. You only really need your phone. So
Mm-hmm.
if I can help one person that feels like they got to spend $5,000 for a setup that looks like mine,
Yeah.
and you're seeing what's behind me, what's in front of me is, I think, even more impressive as I look
Yeah.
at two monitors, two key light or fill light,
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
microphone in front of me, another microphone on top of that, and then I
Yeah.
have my camera that is actually behind a teleprompter, and
Mm-hmm.
another camera on this side I haven't switched to. This is robust.
Yeah.
You don't need that to
No.
stream. So if I
Mm-hmm.
can help people understand how simple it can be to actually get started, you never know how that can help that next person to
Yeah.
jump a hurdle of equipment and finances to when they can just put their phone up, which I don't know what they're doing with these telephones. I really don't know what they're doing with these phones, because I could be all by the video,
Mm-hmm.
but the honest part that is great that people don't talk about
Yeah.
is the audio you can get out of these phones.
Oh my God.
So when I
So
do my
clean.
TikToks,
Mm-hmm.
my reels and shorts, I'm using just my phone, the video and the audio. And I'm using the selfie camera because I can
Yeah.
see it. I
Right.
haven't got to the point where I'm using the other side of the camera yet.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's still 4K. And I mean, it can be 4K. I've learned that I don't have to make it so robust based off of how it's going to go to those other platforms. But,
Exactly.
it could be
Yeah.
really easy. So if I can help, Junaid, if I could just help somebody understand how
Mm-hmm.
simple it can be. I mean, I tell people all the time, with these $1,000 phones, we're not halfway using the capabilities of these
No
phones.
way. No way.
Right? These
And
things are incredible.
they are incredible. And no matter the number of dollars you spend on the equipment, the truth remains you still need to practice.
Yes.
Right?
100%. 100%.
I've had this equipment for 10 years, right? But it didn't mean that I could come on camera and start talking. No. I still had to put in the work, still had to put in the reps to get better at it. And I'm still
Exactly.
learning. I'm still practicing.
Well, let me tell you how to get better on that practice end. I am somebody that my gift and my talent lies in being able to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned how to communicate on a dime. All right. So it's communication and timing with rhythm. Okay. And I go back and forth with somebody, or someone can say, hey, talk on this topic. And if I had enough time, I can start in my mind. I'm talking and thinking at the same time. I could go and do it.
Yeah.
That is a gift. All right, a guy, and it's a skill that I have worked on and worked on and
Mm-hmm.
worked on to where I can go on any stage. I could leave here right now, go on a stage, 200, 300, 20,000, and I'll do the same thing. That's my gift. But I just recently got a new brand deal with a company, One Stream Live, and I'm doing some stuff in their community, and I'm having to do tutorials.
Mm.
Guess what? It's just not talking. It's
No.
talking with slides. It's
Right.
a whole new information, like
Mm-hmm.
how to do things inside of their platform.
Yeah.
I had to learn that, because when you use certain platforms, you use it for how I know how to use it for what I do. But
Exactly.
there's a whole nother side of that software that I don't use that I'm having to learn. So you are
Absolutely.
right. As
Mm-hmm.
I have now, I get to do a new skill, which is go through slides, read slides, and do how to step-by-step tutorials. Guess what? If I want to
Yeah.
be good at that,
Mm-hmm.
if I want to just be in a short amount of time, I'm not saying, oh, I'll be good next year. Of course,
Right.
if I do it for 52 weeks, I'll be good at it. But if I want
Mm-hmm.
to be good next month, guess what? I have to practice for that next opportunity
Yes.
to be in the software
Yeah.
because man, we have software that makes it easy for us.
Mm-hmm.
We have streaming platforms that make it easy for us, but there's still
Yeah.
a lot of technology that's going on. All
There's a ton
right.
of tech. Yeah.
So, basically to be able to do that tutorial, I'm going through two different softwares and I'm using a computer, a Mac Mini, two
Mm-hmm.
monitors, and an iPad to be able to go through my slides.
Go through the slides. Yeah.
All right. And then I got two other Google Chrome extensions up so I can do the step by step and not be on the same Google Chrome using that software. So
Isn't that something? Yeah.
yeah, it's very technical, but I will say this, having the skills of doing radio. So there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of time you sit in radio. And of course, you're during the time that you're not on the radio, people don't know what you do. Well, we just sit in there. No, what's the time where we may have made a call to action and those people are now calling us. So
Yeah.
we're actually recording people and editing that recording so we can play it on the next drop.
Wow.
So there's a lot
That's
that
something.
goes on when you're not. There's some time that you don't have that going on and you're just kind of waiting through the music. I always call that the boring time. That's why I have people in the studio with me to kind of keep me company,
Keep you
when it
company.
get
Exactly.
boring. But, you talked about rehearsing and practicing. If you want to be good at any type of skill or talent, I have a 16-year-old son that likes to play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And he's good. He's talented. But I always tell him the Kobe Bryant thing. Kobe Bryant is, he would, when he was practicing and playing, practice for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Now he's a professional at the highest level and people love the Mamba. But he still will out practice everybody else. So if
Yeah.
you want to be good at something, you have to put in that time. And if it's a skill or a talent, even if you're gifted, all right, even if you're gifted, this is another part that I would kind of share because we're talking about practice. So let me give you one more step. I talk about Kobe Bryant. Also, there's a couple things I talk about Michael Jordan. If you want to be successful, you got to be willing to put up the shots. He, no matter how many games he won, he was still lower than 50%, lower than a 50% shooter. So that means that he missed just as many shots as he made. And you got to be willing to take the shots. You got to be willing to get the next gig. You got to be, we talked about having the imposter syndrome. You got to be willing to step out of I can't into I can and I will, even if you have to learn on the job.
Yeah.
Even if you have to learn on the job. And the last thing after watching that program that they had, the documentary about what it was in the 90s for them. Michael Jordan had a trainer. All right. People don't think about that. He the best player in the world had a personal trainer that was working with him to be sure that his body was ready to be able to do the work and play at the highest level of basketball. So
Isn't that amazing?
yeah. So I think we all have to, if you want to have success, these are some of the things you have to do to be successful. Number one, you want to practice. You want to be good at your craft. You want to find people that can help you. Like I went to the YouTube University.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I recommend YouTube as a great way to learn skills, talents, and to learn some tips and tricks to help you in whatever skill that you're trying to get to. All right. Even
Yep.
if it is basketball, guess what? There's a ton of youth basketball videos, how to dribble, how to shoot, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a ton.
And I'm just using that as an example because if you're a content creator, podcast, whatever you're doing, find people that can give you some tips and tricks, and then find somebody that is willing to train you. Right.
Yeah.
If Junaid, I would say this. If you ever wanted to be a mentor of somebody and somebody pay you to be a mentor, if you ever want to have a digital product that's sold, the first thing you would want to do is actually pay somebody for mentorship.
Yes.
Or buy some digital products.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Get in the economy. It goes around. So that I always tell people that.
No, 100%. 100%. And in the past 3 years, I've probably spent over $50K, right, in courses and learning, because if you don't, you got to get that knowledge from somewhere. Either you spend time and money, or you spend both of them, or you're hanging out with people who have already done the marathons, already done the centuries, already done the work, so that you can learn. But then, like Steph Curry, he would show up on the court 6 a.m. or super early and try those 3-pointers.
Right.
Nobody told him he has to do it. He wanted to be better than himself than he was yesterday.
Right.
Right. So that's the desire that we got to have to get to that level. Thank you, man. That fired me up.
That's
Guys,
good.
hold
I
on.
hope it did.
Hold on.
I'm here to help.
Yes, you're here, and you are absolutely, you're on the money, on the dot. Guys, hold on just a quick second. We'll be right back. And DJ Strick's going to share with us 3 hacks to take away. We'll be right back. I'm Junaid Ahmed, host of Hacks and Hobbies podcast and a digital presence advisor at HumbleZone. This episode is brought to you by Home Studio Mastery. I launched a consultation and course program to help podcasters and course creators to create a space in their homes that'll reduce the friction of creating content and appearing their best when showing up on camera. The pandemic gave us a lot of issues, but this one is here to stay. We're now so much closer to our audience thanks to video becoming more popular and affordable. I help guide folks who want to create Hollywood-worthy studios to not only capture great content, but also build more confidence, more authority, and be more comfortable in front of the camera. If I can do it, you can too. And with my help, you can do it faster. So if you'd like to learn more, visit homestudiomastery.com and how you too can create a home studio that brings out your personality, professionalism, and possibilities. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around. We've been speaking with DJ Strick here on Hacks and Hobbies, and it's been so much fun. We talked about his origin story, the motivations, what it really takes to become exceptionally good and known for that one thing that you are really good at. And we talked about Michael Jordan. We got a lot of basketball
analogies there. I threw it in
Yes.
because my son likes to play, and I'm always coaching him up.
I love it. So take it away, DJ Strick. 3 hacks to take away for our content creators here.
My first one is more of a mindset kind of a hack. I do want to tell you this. It's not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to seem like you're chasing a rabbit in the content creation world because things change so fast. Instagram is not doing long form. YouTube is doing shorts and TikTok is doing long form, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody's doing 15. We want 15 seconds. And actually, if you can get it down to 7 seconds, you got me. Like trying to figure out how to gain an audience or even having that one video that just goes viral to validate your work as you're chasing a rabbit. All right. Having purpose in what you do is the most important thing. That it is a long game and not a short game. All right. If you look at the most successful content creators, all right, we're not talking about the viral one of videos from the girls you see on TikTok. All right. Because as fast as they go up, they go right back down. I mean, you have people, I have people that I know that have millions of views on one video and 200 views on the rest. All right. So what you want to do is understand that content creation, like the hack, is understanding that this is a long game.
Yeah.
All right. So get into it, understanding that I'm going to put 5 years into this work. Right. Now, something could happen before those 5 years are up. You really could have a viral video, or you can figure out what your niche is early. Sometimes it takes people a long time to figure out what their niche is. But the people that started in YouTube in 2007, I mean, it's 2022 now. Like they are the ones that stuck with it when nobody was watching, no views. They continue to put videos out. And now they're, I want to call them millionaires, but the ones on the top really do have $1 million endorsements. I'm not saying that could be your future. I'm saying you have to give yourself some time in your content creation journey to get there. So that's a hack. It is a marathon, not a sprint, guys. The next thing is I am a AppSumo guy. And yes, this is a real hack. I think it's appsumo.com. It could be appsumo.io. So it is a website that's dedicated to matching new tech companies with technical audience. All right. So I get all of the emails, updates, and tools that they have. Now, AppSumo is producing some software themselves now, and they also host other people's software for a discounted price. All right. So AppSumo is where you go to get the discounted price. And let me tell you some things now. All right. My first one that I want to tell you about AppSumo is I use a system called TidyCal, TIDYCAL, and is a competitor to Calendly.
Okay.
All right. It's a competitor. Now, I paid $19 for it one time, where if you get with Calendly, I know they have a free option, but if you want to step up to the paid option, that is a monthly subscription. Well, what I paid $20 for once, it's the same thing that you would have a subscription for with TidyCal.
Yeah.
I mean, with Calendly.
Calendly,
So where people are easy to get on those name brand things. And I look for the alternative to that name brand thing to save money. So what does that mean? So I have a calendar system where I can book clients that is connected to my Google account, just like everything you can do on Calendly, you can do through TidyCal. And they are still doing updates to the system. So if there's some one-up thing that Calendly is doing that TidyCal hadn't done, guess what? They are updating the system. I get alerts on, hey, this is the new thing this month we've added, an added feature, and I don't have to pay any more money for it.
Nice.
Okay. The other thing is when I got started with doing content creation, I had a client that needed to play pre-recorded videos like it was live. All right. And there were people out there doing it, but they were doing it with very small video files. And I needed a larger file to be able to throw up. I found this company called OneStream Live. All right.
Okay.
It was a lifetime deal. Okay. It was a lifetime deal and it worked. All right. It worked. And they started to upgrade. So they went from multicasting pre-recorded video to doing live video. to
Nice.
LinkedIn Live, to Instagram, to TikTok. They were just adding features after feature after feature. And guess what? I'm in as a lifetime dealer from AppSumo.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to play. I don't pay a subscription. All right. So what I have is equal to $80 a month. I pay $120 for, and that subscription now is like $80 a month.
That's amazing.
So not only is that amazing, but because I got into the program and started to use it, and I understand how community is built, I went into their community, Junaid, with the heart of helping people.
Yeah.
And now I am helping them with the brand going live in that. I have a brand deal with them to go live in their community.
That's amazing. Wow.
So not only did I got a great deal from AppSumo, but now I'm actually paid to talk about that product.
Isn't that amazing?
I love it, brother.
That's awesome. All right. Yeah. So number one, it's a long game.
Long game.
Right? It's not going to fizzle out. You're not going to fizzle out. Cause like, I started thinking about when you're doing a bonfire, sure, you can put leaves in it. They're going to fizzle out really quick. But to keep that bonfire going, you got to have a big log, and those big logs take a longer time to take. So keep at it. Number two, use software to expedite and set up your calendar. So Tidy Cal is a really good example. It's on sale at AppSumo right now.
So it is. So AppSumo is actually the resource. All right. So this is the resource I would go right into and search for whatever I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a email distribution automation, if you're looking for, I have another one called Shortly, which is where I'm able to do texts. I'm actually able to bulk texting.
Text community, right?
Text community through that. I actually have there's one that's called Pencil that I just got, Junaid. Like, I'm not talking about it a lot. You know what I'm saying? I just got it. And it's called Pencil. And it really goes into my third thing that I want to talk about. But Pencil is a community builder. All right. So you can actually it is a competitor to Kajabi, Mega something.
Community platform for website, online courses, etc.
There you go. So my third thing is, as you are a content creator, find your community, okay?
Yeah.
Find your community. Like, be involved in a community to where you can find other people like yourself that you can glean from, that you can learn from, that could help you, okay?
Yeah.
So as you do that, you never know who you connect with. Because I was a part of the community, I got an opportunity to meet somebody like Brant Collins, who is a downright know-it-all when it comes to technology stuff. And my experience in radio, his experience in television combines to 40 years in media experience that we're actually able to share together on the stream show. So you just never know, Junaid, what happens when you're willing to put yourself, to be vulnerable enough to be a part of a group, to learn and to share.
Amen.
So that was my third one.
I love it. DJ Strick, that was amazing. And I can't wait to bring Brad Collins on the show either. So looking forward to talking with him in a future episode. DJ Strick, thank you so much for the hacks, for your story, for the wisdom. Really appreciate it. We got 6 quick questions that we're going to run through.
Let's go.
And we're going to rock it out. All right. Question number 1. What is the one hobby that you wish you got into?
The one hobby that, you know what? I do all the stuff I want to do. I wish I would. I don't have time to do it, but it would probably be golf. It would probably be golf. Like to play golf. Now, I can go to Top Golf where you just kind of tee off, but I would like to be able to do 18 holes and do it proficiently.
Nice.
Have a good short game. My long game is not so good.
Like you said, it takes time for a long game, right?
Yeah, it does. It does. I keep slicing it to the right. I can't fix it. I don't know what's going on.
Nice. All right, next question. What did you want to be when you were a child?
That is a good question. I wanted to be a football player, but
Mm.
I played high school football. It was really good. Went to college for a little while to play, but when in
Mm.
college, I learned that I need to do something else with my life because those guys were so much bigger and faster. So
Yeah.
I wanted to play football
Nice.
professionally.
Nice. I like it. Next question. What is your favorite movie or TV show?
So my favorite movie, of course, there's tons of favorites, but I'm a Matrix guy because it
Oh my
makes
God.
me think.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the Matrix, all of
I
them.
love
The
it.
new one kind of threw me for a loop. I'm waiting for a part 2 or whatever, but I felt
Will
like
there
they
be a
started,
part 2?
huh?
I said, will there be a part 2?
I think it has to be. It just felt like they
Mm.
were setting something up because it was just kind of a retelling of the story.
Yeah, you're right. It was kind of like that. Interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
What movie would you choose if you got to play a character in it?
If I was a character in a movie, like if it was me, uh, that's a really good question.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've seen some of the Equalizer movies that Denzel Washington have done.
Mm-hmm.
But man, he's super cool in those
He
movies,
is.
man. Like he can do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I I wouldn't want to live a life like his,
Mm-hmm.
but man, when he has to get something straight, he can get it straight.
Yeah. No,
So
absolutely.
that would be
So,
cool to be I guess you would call it equalizer or action hero and do one of those kind of
action hero.
movies.
All right. Sweet. I like that. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Now now I've got Denzel Washington in my head,
Yeah.
and all
yeah.
the faces he makes and the pauses. Those
King
pauses.
Kong has got nothing on me. I just kind of have to throw that out there.
I love it. I love it. All right. Next question. Who is your favorite superhero?
Oh, I'm a Superman guy.
Ooh.
Yeah. From a
Superman.
kid, when I was younger, Batman wasn't so celebrated because he was a human being. Now Batman is, he's fighting Superman. Like, how in the world could that ever happen? Like in real life, like Batman couldn't stand a chance, right? Superman just had all the powers, and of course, what I was saying when I was younger in the '80s, they had the Superman movies or whatever, and that was just the coolest thing.
That's coolest stuff ever. Nice. Last question. If you were a board game, what would it be?
If I was a board game, what would it be? So you might have to research this one.
Okay.
But our family plays this game called Ruby Cube.
Ruby Cube.
Ruby Cube. And don't ask me how to spell it because it has a real difficult spelling name, but it has I would call them tiles, very similar to dice, but instead it actually has numbers on them.
Okay.
And the game is similar to Uno, to where you can get sequence of the same letter or the same number in different colors that allows you to put your tiles down on the board or whatever. Or you can get the numbers in sequence, like 1 through 9 or 1 through 12.
Sure.
And it's a really cool game. It's a game of chance, and it's a game of strategy because once tiles are on the board, you're able to rearrange them to put tiles that you may have in your hand down. So you have to be very watchful. It's a game of chance. Someone can put the tile that you needed down and you're able to go out. So basically you start with 14 and you got to get to 0. Whoever gets to 0 first wins.
Got it.
So, or have no tiles left.
We'll have to do some research on that for sure.
It's a really good one. It's a really
send
good
a
one.
link to it so we can include it.
I have to look it up and send it to you.
For sure.
My wife's grandmother actually introduced that game to us, and she passed last year. So not only is it a cool game to play, but when we play it, we always think of her.
Think of her, yeah. That's the best, right? When you're thinking of a loved one from that perspective. Oh my God! It was then all the talk, all the way they talk and react, interact with people comes out. It's the best.
It is. And our family is very competitive. I mean, it's just is what it is. My wife likes to compete as well as I do.
That's awesome.
So it's fun.
Nice. DJ Strick, thank you so much for this opportunity speaking with us, and we'll be sure to include all the links to how to get to you.
Please do.
But what's the quickest way to get to you, though?
That is a good question. Facebook inbox is probably the quickest way to get to me in Messenger. You can always find all the details about who I am by going to strickcity.com and tells you all the stuff that I do. And that's probably, if you want to know more about me, that's probably a way to go. And you can also inbox me through that as well, or strick@strickcity.com.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, DJ Strick. We'll catch you in the next episode.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. It was a lot of fun talking with DJ Strick. Please reach out to him through the links in the show notes. And if you have any questions, please reach out and share with us what you really loved about this episode. Thanks again for listening. We'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode on Hacks and Hobbies. We absolutely appreciate your contribution. You can find additional notes on hacksandhobbies.com. Please share the podcast with your friends and tell them what you learned about our guest today.